Key new testimony in the Elizabeth Smart trial caps off a week of shocking courtroom drama. An expert in religious manuscripts told the jury yesterday the writings of the man accused of kidnapping Smart drew heavily from other religious works, including the Bible and the Book of Mormon. And that testimony could support the prosecution's claim that Brian David Mitchell is a bright man who knew what he was doing, an argument that runs counter to the defense's claim that he's mentally ill and can't be held responsible for his actions. Let's bring in our legal panel to weigh in on this. Karen DeSoto is a defense attorney and former prosecutor. Keith Sullivan is a defense attorney. And a good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
All right, we'll go ladies first here. Karen, this testimony here, is this a blow to the defense?
To the extent that there is a defense? Listen, let me tell you about the insanity defense. Unless your client, your defendant, is sitting next to you and is babbling, hearing voices, and drooling on himself, the jury's not going to go with the insanity defense.
That's just not a picture.
Okay?
Yeah.
But in this particular case, the reason why this testimony is so intriguing is because not only does it prove that he wasn't insane, but it shows that he was clever, because what he did was use Elizabeth Smart's own religion, the Mormon religion, and the tenets of that religion to basically indoctrinate her.
Which makes him very calculating.
Not only, well, it makes him very smart, because he is also a Mormon and he's using those tenets to really use and manipulate a little girl. So it makes him look pretty smart, if you ask me.
So Keith, give me a defense perspective. If you're on that team, what are you going to be doing following testimony like this?
Well, look, I would not respond in court putting in on my rebuttal case additional evidence to address this. There's a concept amongst trial attorneys of over-trying a case, and I think that's what the prosecution is doing here. Essentially, they're putting on evidence to show that he is not insane because his religious Bible is not an original work, it's a plagiarized work. They have absolutely devastating evidence against this individual. He took his daughter's pet rabbit, cooked it, and fed it to her. He chained his wife to a tree for 6 months. Forget about getting into is it original or not original. What the prosecution should be doing is refocusing the argument, recouching it, and essentially show whether or not...
But did he know it was wrong?
Exactly, and that's the issue. Whether or not when
Maybe he was making dinner.
When he did these insane things, did he know right from wrong? And that's the issue in the case here. You have absolutely devastating testimony. This confuses the jury.
I'm curious, quickly, Karen, because I think we have something coming up with the president here, but very quickly, with regard to Elizabeth Smart storming out of that courtroom, she hears from a psychologist who testifies that she had been considering baby names where she become impregnated by him. How does that play with the jury?
Well, first of all, it's very, you have the right after you testify to stay in the courtroom. A lot of the rape victims do not, because it's very disturbing to them. So the fact that she was there and in the courtroom, the prosecutor, the jurors sit there and they'll stare at you. And it's very kind of, you know, makes everything very confused. But it almost begs the question, what is she thinking? Has she been released from the mindset? What's going on with her that she feels the need to stay in the courtroom, and is that a concern, and really what's going on?
Okay. Would you have her be staying in the courtroom?
I don't think Elizabeth Smart is told what to do by anybody these days. I've seen her on interviews. She's an extremely strong woman. She's a victim. She has the greatest outcome and interest in this case. She's there on her own free will, and she left the other day because it is harmful and it is hurtful. And I think the jury sees that and they take issue with that, and it engenders more sympathy for it.
Okay. Keith Sullivan, Karen DeSoto, thanks so much. We've got the president coming out. That's the only reason I would catch you guys a little short. Anyway, we are going to stay with all of you and bring you more reaction on today's votes against